I'm sitting here in my living room with one of my most treasured possessions in my hand. It's a signed letter from Edward Elgar to his publishers, and it was a gift to me 12 years ago from the San Francisco Symphony when I left the orchestra. And as you can see, it's just a simple letter. If you can see in the corner here, yours ever, Edward Elgar. So it's the real thing. And as you might imagine, it's something that I'm particularly fond of since I have a great passion for Elgar's music, due in no small part to the fact that I grew up in the UK, and so you might say that it's in my blood. But I've always loved Elgar's music, and in particular, the piece that many consider his masterpiece, the Enigma Variations, written in 1899. It's such a wonderful piece of music. It's a profoundly original concept, not in the sense that it's a theme of variations. Many composers before and since have chosen that form. But Elgar's take on it was charming and unique. It all came about one day when Elgar was sitting at home and his wife came back and heard him tinkling out a little thing at the piano. And she said, "Well, what's that?" And he said, "Well, it's a little tune I came up with. But so-and-so would play it like this." It was one of their friends. And then he said, "But on the other hand, this person would play it like this." And what he had done, of course, is hit on this wonderful concept to have a set of variations portray each of a number of Elgar's circle of friends. There are 15 variations in all, the last of which is, in fact, Elgar's self-portrait. And the enigma part functions on two levels. The first enigma, which has long since been solved, circles around the identity of the friends pictured within. That's, in fact, the dedication of the piece. He says, "To my friends pictured within," which at the first performances and subsequently are labeled only by a set of initials. Earlier on, of course, the game was to discover who the identity of the person was. That didn't take too long because you already had the initials. But the second enigma, which Elgar left unexplained till the time of his death, was the identity of the theme itself. Elgar said that he drew it from somewhere, but he never said what. He left a number of clues, and people have written extensively about this, but nobody has come up with a definitive answer as to what the theme itself is based on. The character of the variations themselves is as wide-ranging as Elgar's circle of friends. Sometimes quixotic, sometimes comical, sometimes philosophical, and serious, and in one memorable instance, in the Nimrod variation, which describes Augustus Jaeger, maybe Elgar's closest friend of all, a sublime meditative variation in which time seems to stand still. It's a wonderful piece, and when one thinks of friends and friendship, it really fits the bill beautifully. And for that reason, I chose it to remember someone who has been, for many, many years, more than just a friend to the Sun Valley Summer Symphony. Indeed, the founder, the person to whom we owe the greatest debt of gratitude, Carl Ebel, who died earlier this year. Carl simply is the reason we're all here in Sun Valley today. He founded the festival, and through his vision and that of his dear wife, Julianne, the festival was born and sustained during the first important years of its growth. Carl was a wonderful human being, generous, intelligent, deeply musical, and it was my privilege to know him. Those of us that were part of the festival back in those days will miss him greatly, but we offer this concert to him in tribute and in deep gratitude and affection for all that he stood for and all that he brought to the Sun Valley Summer Symphony. I hope you'll come on August 1st as we pay tribute to our dear friend, Carl Ebel.